everyone. Today we're going to read the story Plants, Simply Science Plants, and it is by Melissa Stewart. All kinds of plants. How are spongy mosses in a swamp and tall redwood trees in a forest alike? How is the duckweed on a pond like the mucina vines that hang from trees? Mosses, redwoods, duckweed, and mucinas are all plants. More than 275,000 different kinds of plants live on Earth. They can be found all over the planet. They are all in fields and forests, in oceans, and on mountains. They live in lakes and deserts. Some can even live in Earth's coldest places. Some plants live just a few months. Others keep growing for thousands of years. Not all kinds of plants grow in all parts of the world. The first plants lived on land about 450 million years ago. Fossils. Fossils tell us that the first land plants were mosses. Here's the Joshua tree, and it can grow only in the desert. Plants found in many different places come in several shapes and sizes. They had to live in moist places, meaning wet. The first plants with flowers lived 135 million to 140 million years ago. Most of the plants alive today are related to the early flowering plants. Here's moss and fungi on a tree. And here are leaf fossils that tell us that plants have been around for a very long time. Roots, stems, and leaves. Most plants have roots, stems, and leaves. A plant's roots hold it in place into the ground. Roots also absorb or take in water and minerals from the soil. A plant cannot grow without water and minerals. The roots of some plants store food. A plant's stem gives it support. Tubes in the stems carry plant. Stems of most plants carry water and minerals from the roots. They act as a straw. So here it is, and it goes right up. Let's go back. They carry water and minerals from the roots to the leaves. Another set of tubes moves food through the plant. All plants make their own food. When sunlight hits the leaves of a plant, photosynthesis takes place. Photosynthesis is the way plants make food. During photosynthesis, energy from the sun, carbon dioxide from the air, and water combine to form and make sugar. Photosynthesis also makes the oxygen you breathe. Plant leaves come in many different sizes and shapes. Maple trees have large, wide leaves. This is important because the trees often live in shady forests. So here's a close-up of a maple leaf. The big leaves help maples collect all the sun energy they need. Cacti live in hot, dry deserts. They have thin, sharp spines. The spines protect cacti from enemies. Maple trees and cacti are made in ways that help them grow in their habitats. A maple tree would dry up and die in a desert. Why do you think that it would dry in a desert? What kind of weather do you see in a desert? A cacti could never live in cool, shady forest. The kind of plants found in a habitat depend on the place's temperature and the amount of water it gets. The kind of soil is also important. So pine trees do better in cold, wintry environment. A dry climate is a good place for desert plants to grow. They don't need a lot of water. Plants to seeds to plants. A plant uses the food it makes during photosynthesis to grow. Many plants also use food energy to make beautiful flowers. When flowers bloom, they attract bees, butterflies, and other insects. These insects sip the sugary nectar that the plant makes and stores inside its flowers. The insects also pick up bits of pollen. So there that is. The insects also pick up bits of pollen. When a bee moves to a new flower, some of the powdery pollen falls off its body. Some grains of pollen fall deep inside the flower. So here it is, and look at that big chunk of pollen. Then the flower makes seeds and turns it into fruit. Many animals like to eat fruit. When a bird eats a juicy raspberry and then flies away, it carries the raspberry's seed to a new place. The seeds pass through the bird's digestive system and land on the ground. If the soil is rich and moist, some of the seeds sprout and grow into new raspberry bushes. Plants and animals. The plants and animals living in a habitat depend on each other. Many plants depend on insects to move pollen. Birds and other animals help plants by carrying their seeds to new places. Animals need plants too. Many animals make their homes in or near plants. Many insects, birds, and larger creatures eat plant leaves, stems, flowers, and fruits. Plants are at the bottom of almost every food chain on Earth. During photosynthesis, a plant makes its own food. A plant uses some of its own energy to live and grow. It stores the rest in its roots, stems, and leaves. When a rabbit eats grass, some of the plant's stored energy passes into the animal's body. When a fox eats the rabbit, the fox uses some of the energy to live and grow. When the fox dies, its body becomes food for bacteria and fungi that live in the soil. As these tiny creatures break down the fox's body, they release minerals into the ground. The plants that take in these minerals grow big and strong. They make better food for rabbits and cows and people. If the fox catches and eats this rabbit, energy will pass from the rabbit to the fox. Do you see the rabbit? People and plants. Like rabbits and cows, humans are animals that eat plants. Heads of lettuce are leaves of plants. Celery stalks are the stems of another plant. Apples and oranges are fruit. Peas and seeds. Even bread, pasta, and chocolate chip cookies are made from plants. You would not have a strong, healthy body if you did not eat plants. Plants give much more than just food. Cotton t-shirts are made from plants. So are paper, pencils, and many medicines. Some homes are built from wood. Some people burn wood to heat. It's saying cow depends on plants to survive. So people burn wood to heat their homes. Plants keep land from washing away during heavy rainstorms. They also make the oxygen you breathe. You could not live in the world without plants. This is why it is so important to protect the places where plants grow. These children are learning how wood is used to build a new home. Here's our glossary, some of the words we heard. Bacteria, carbon dioxide, digestive system, food chain, fossils, fungi, habitat, minerals. Did you know? Some plants do not grow in soil. They get all they need from the air and water. The roots of duckweed hang a few inches below the surface of still ponds and lakes. Spanish moss and orchids are air plants. They hang from branches of tall trees. Thanks for listening.